the 60s, the 80s were dominated by the Celtics and Lakers. At the center of the battle were Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. The last time Larry and Magic met in the finals was 1987. Game 4 was in the Boston Garden, where the Celtics had won 20 of their previous 21 playoff games.
You called it right when they went with that fast lineup on both ends. Parrish misses. They count. It counts.
The Celtics needed a win to tie the series at 2 games apiece. They pulled out to a quick lead and were up by 16 at the half. The Lakers came roaring back in the second half and closed the gap.
4-on-1 break. Michael Thompson scores.
With 30 seconds left, the Lakers went to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem does it, and the Lakers jumping for joy, and they lead it 104-103, and another timeout called by Casey Jones.
Larry Bird answered the call for the Celtics.
Open his aim. Bird goes for 3. And the Lakers call time with 12 seconds left.
Down by 2, Kareem went to the line with a chance to tie.
Has he ever? Has he ever? And it's Lakers ball with 7 seconds to go.
The ref signaled Laker ball, and Los Angeles had a chance to win the game. This time the play went to Magic, who borrowed a weapon from Kareem's arsenal of shots.
5 seconds to go. Magic with a hook shot. Scores with 2.
Magic's game winner put the Lakers up 3-1, and they went on to win the title in 6 games.
We ran a pick and roll, and Mikhail jumped out on me. And I said, well, if I got a big man out on me, I'm going to fake the shot and then try to go around him. And that's what happened. I got one step on him. And the only shot I could probably get off was the hook. And I went right into it. And Robert Pears and Kevin jumped out at me, but I got it over them and it went in. That was a special moment for me because, you know, people first didn't think I could perform the way I could under pressure. They never seen me hit the big shot. So it was like showing not only myself, but other people something.
Lucky number 7 on the Spike 52 countdown belongs to a player who routinely made shots that appeared lucky to the untrained eye.
Whenever the game was on the line, we knew that Mr. Clutch was about to deliver. There was no one like Jerry West.
Jerry West, the #1 citizen of Cabin Creek, West Virginia. He's duplicating in NBA circles the fine record he turned in as an All-America at West Virginia University. This great backcourt star had a career high of 63 points in one game, was the 5th highest league scorer with 2,310 points, and in the opinion of many, he's yet to attain his peak.
Jerry West specialized in key baskets when the game was on the line.
Jerry West once told me, "My mind is my best friend." Interesting statement. And he said, as a kid growing up in Cabin Creek, West Virginia, and he said, I always played these mind games of competing. He said, I would set situations. I would set last-second shots. He said, I always would hit the winning shot. He said, I did this thousands and thousands and thousands of times. Therefore, everything that I ever did in my career, I had done in my mind back in West Virginia as a kid countless thousands of times.
Nowhere was West's clutch ability more in demand than in the 1970 finals. The Lakers were battling the Knicks at the Fabulous Forum with the game tied at 100 and only seconds left to play.
Let's see what Red Holzman has in store now for New York. Lakers trying to pressure the inbounds pass, and it comes in to Walt Frazier with 10 seconds now showing on the clock. 8 seconds left to go on the clock. 7, 6, 5. DeBusschere shoots. Hit with 3 seconds to go.
With no timeouts and only 3 ticks of the clock left, the Lakers looked doomed.
2 seconds. 1 second. West throws it up. He makes it. West threw it up and makes it. Over half court.
What I remember is Dave DeBusschere falling on all fours when that shot went in. He was at half court or behind half court. And I just remember the shot going in and seeing Dave, you know, the epitome of strength, just crumbling on the floor. And it left a vivid memory just as much as the shot did.
The ball game is tied. Jerry West made it from the other side of the midcourt stripe.
Jerry's shot put the game into overtime.
The Lakers had the momentum after West's 60-foot shot.
Unfortunately for Laker fans, West had no more miracles up his sleeve as Los Angeles lost the game and eventually the series to the New York Knicks. Still, West's basket looms as one of the sport's classic moments, in part because it doesn't seem that unbelievable that he made it. So far, we've seen the likes of Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, and Jerry West make the seemingly impossible look almost routine.
But don't be fooled into thinking this game is easy.
Here are some moments that didn't make our countdown. When Spike 52 Greatest Moments in NBA History continues, we'll go inside a triple overtime thriller.
17 seconds. Silvers has got Westfall open. It's 2 points again.
I remember this one time I was after this fine lady up from over there on King Boulevard. I couldn't get nowhere, no-how.
That's because you're ugly.
Give me that ball. So, Carmelo, what do you think is the greatest moment in NBA history?
Well, I have to say, Jordan lighting up Portland in the 1992 finals.
Were you even born then?
Yeah, what do you think is the greatest?
The 1974 NBA Finals, Boston and Milwaukee.
You know what, Bill? My grandfather said the same thing.
Spike is counting down the 52 greatest moments in NBA history. Relive the moments that made legends. Spike 52 Greatest Moments in NBA History continues on Spike TV. The NBA Finals begin June 6th. We're at number 6 in the Spike 52 countdown. Game 5 of the 1976 NBA Finals not only features one of the greatest moments in NBA history, it is arguably the greatest game ever played. At the end of regulation, the Suns were led by former Celtic Paul Westphal.
Westfall turnaround. 94-91, Phoenix alive with 52 seconds and a 3-point Boston lead. So that was a big basket by Westphal. Kept the team in it. Westphal knocks it away. Came around behind Charlie Scott. Here's Paul back down the other way. Paul Westphal puts it in.
In overtime, with the score tied, the Celtics worked the ball to their star player, John Havlicek.
Well, I certainly appreciate what John Havlicek brought to the table. I mean, he was my mentor. He was the best player I've ever played with. And so I was fortunate enough to see a lot of the great things and the great plays that he was capable of. And I was in awe then, and I'm still in awe of the talents of John Havlicek.
Goes to Havlicek. In the corner. Fake. Fires. No good.
A second 5-minute OT. And still the Phoenix Suns refuse to turn into pumpkins.
In the second overtime, the Celtics seemingly had it won, but again, the Suns refused to go down.
Crowd chanting defense. Lumpkin, Westfall, and Van Arsdale on the floor. Van Arsdale with a quick shot. It's a one-point game again. Just what Rick predicted. Westfall to the corner. Back to Van Arsdale. Perry in the air. Won't go. Havlicek. Perry again. Perry with a jump shot. Put it down. Phoenix has gone ahead. We've got 5 seconds. I don't believe it.
With only 5 seconds to go, there was time for Boston to put up a final shot. As they had in the first overtime, they drew the play up for Havlicek.
And Hurd. The final 5 seconds. Everybody on their feet here in the Boston Garden. And everybody will be looking for JoJo White. You can bet on that. Let's see if they try and pull a little switch here and maybe go with Havlicek. But the only 2 good shooters right now, because Nelson's taking out of bounds, are White and Havlicek. Collins, remember, is fouled out. So is Scott. Here come the Celtics. Clock will start when it's touched. Havlicek touches it. It begins. 3 seconds. Hondo off the glass. He's got it with a second. John Havlicek won it.
John ended up taking the shot and banked it off the glass. I mean, we were like ecstatic. But I looked up at the clock and there was like 4 seconds left on the clock. And our table, which is the greatest table in basketball, they ran the 4 seconds off the clock. And so everybody just pushed us off the floor and went to the locker room.
It's over. There's 2 seconds to go. The Boston Celtics, but the clock should have run out. Or did it have 2? Everybody's on the floor. Basketball game.
And they came back in the locker room and said we had 2 seconds left on the clock. And so our thinking in the locker room was, what can happen in 2 seconds? We go back out and we play 2 seconds of defense, we win a championship.
Back on the court, Paul Westphal executed a brilliant strategic move. With only 1 second, there was no time left to throw the ball down court.
I asked Richie Powers if we called the timeout, if we could still advance the ball to half court.
Do they have a timeout left, or have they used both of them?
They didn't have any. And they got a technical foul. JoJo White made the technical, but now they could advance the ball to midcourt.
Won't start until it's touched. They'll have to throw it up. Garher, turnaround, shot in the air. It's good. It's tied again. I don't believe it.
It was like a miracle. Something happened, and it's just stunned. Myself, I was stunned until the next day.
Garher ties it. We'll go to the 3rd overtime. Somebody up there is on our side.
It's going through your mind, you know, that so-and-so made that shot. Why in the world didn't we do something?
In the 3rd overtime, the Suns refused to go down gently.
21 seconds, it's a 4-point lead, and McDonough lost it. 17 seconds, Sobers has got Westfall open. It's 2 points again, at 12 seconds.
The exhaustion wore down every single player.
It was the longest game I've ever been in, and I did not feel comfortable until the time, if you can think back, when I sat down on the floor. That was the only time I felt that we had the game in the balance.
JoJo White had just enough energy to hold the Suns off at the end. It was a marathon that neither team deserved to lose. Although the Celtics won the game in the series, the lasting moment would always belong to Phoenix and Garfield Hurd.
Won't start until it's touched. They'll have to throw it up. Garher, turnaround, shot in the air. It's good. It's tied again. I don't believe it.
When we return, we'll see Wilt Chamberlain set the all-time scoring mark and hear the most famous call in the history of basketball.
He gets it out deep, and Havlicek steals it over the sand zone. Havlicek stole the ball.
The speed, the legacy. Moments in NBA history continues on Spike TV.
Anyone that watches basketball knows that it is not easy for a team to break 100 points.
Which makes this next moment all the more incredible and hard to believe.
It happened at a game that wasn't televised and wasn't filmed.
Man, that was so long ago. Sadly, all we've got are some pictures, a tape of the radio broadcast, and our vivid imaginations as we try to conjure up visions of Wilt Chamberlain doing the unthinkable. We're at number 5 in the countdown, and here we find Wilt Chamberlain. Nobody roots for Goliath, Chamberlain once said, explaining the reaction he drew from fans.
The people, of course, who were alive then or, around that time, genuflect at the sound of Wilt and his greatness.
The Chamberlain legend began the moment he stepped foot on a high school court.
You began to hear little trickles, and I remember one day our sports editor, a fellow named Al Cartwright, went up to Overbrook High School to cover one of his games and wrote about it. But in those days, a high school kid this good, this big, right in our neighborhood in the Philadelphia area, I tell you, it was mind-blowing.
Wilt's career was like Wilt himself. It was larger than life. A 13-time All-Star, Chamberlain won 4 NBA Most Valuable Player awards, was on 2 championship teams, and once averaged more than 50 points a game for an entire season. But of all his giant accomplishments on the court, none loom larger than a game played in front of just a few thousand people.
In 1962, the New York Knicks played the Philadelphia Warriors in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Wilt did something that undoubtedly will never be done again in scoring 100 points.
It was toward the end of the season, and I had a date that night before, and so everything led to me not having a night's sleep. You understand? And I remember getting into the bus and sitting with my friend Vince as we were going to Hershey from Philadelphia, and saying, "Boy, am I tired." But as the game went on, I'm in the 60s and 70s. The chant came from the fans who said, "We want 100."
He made 28 foul shots out of 32 attempts because people remember him struggling with foul shooting throughout his career, but not on that night. It was a remarkable physical demonstration.
It went to 100. Now, with the chant going, "We want 100, we want 100," you understand? And by that time, you're getting a little tired, and it's ringing in your ears. I shot 60-some shots that night. Now, I'm a strong guy, but I'm going to tell you, 60-some shots, only Rick Barry could shoot that and not probably be tired. You understand? But that's a lot of shots.
And there was one person, the station didn't even tape it. A fan at home happened to be taping it. It's the only reason we have it today. And so you can still hear that tape of Bill Campbell calling that game. I'll tell you, it was marvelous.
Whoever believed that anyone would score 100 points in one ball game, it was done tonight by Wilt Chamberlain.
The game really never finished. It was still 46 to 50 seconds on that clock when I scored 100 points. But since that's all the fans wanted, and the officials felt like that was enough to, said the game was over. The people came on the floor. I mean, the officials didn't care about it. They were still 56 on the clock. Instead, and we just kind of ran off. And so that's one of maybe the few games in the history of the NBA that never, ever finished.
Spike 52 has reached number 4 on the countdown of the greatest moments in NBA history, and it features the most famous call in basketball. Nursing a 1-point lead, the Celtics had possession, and their star player was determined to inbound the ball.
I did not trust anybody else to take it out but me. I wanted to take it out because I'd make sure that I could make a good pass.
Now Russell he loses the ball off the support. Russell lost the ball off the support, and the ball goes to Philadelphia.
Well, I am very tall, and I hit the guy wire.
The whistle blew, and we thought we were going to be given the ball back again to inbound it. And they said, violation. Well, Auerbach is up off the bench, and, the ball is going to be turned over to Philadelphia underneath the basket, and Red is arguing. And when we finally got back into the huddle, Russell is very distraught, and, he's wondering, how this outcome is going to turn out.
We go in the huddle. And all I could say was, guys, we got to do something.
When they returned to the court, the Celtics sized up their opposition.
They're taking the ball out of bounds, and Wilt is planting himself under the basket. And so I got to make sure that they don't pass him the ball or get a rebound. And then Havlicek noticed, he looked in the guy's eye that was going to pass the ball in, and he knew where the ball was going.
Finally, it's time for Philadelphia's Hal Greer to inbound the ball.
So I take a peek, a little bigger peek, and on 1005, I see the ball coming.
The play was simply amazing, but what made it even better was Johnny Most's call.
Greer's putting the ball on a play. He gets it out deep, and Havlicek steals it over the sand zone. Havlicek stole the ball. It's all over. It's all over. Johnny Havlicek is being mobbed by the fans.
The Boston Garden went absolutely delirious with excitement, and John Havlicek was carried off to a hero celebration, and Boston won the series and eventually the NBA championship. Although Havlicek is the all-time leading scorer in the storied history of the Celtics franchise, he will always be most remembered not for a basket, but rather a steal. Spike 52, greatest moments in NBA history, will continue with an entrance for the ages.
Here comes Willis, and the crowd is going wild.
Hey, baby, it's me, Gary Payton. You know I dream about being with you every night.
Welcome back to Spike 52 Greatest Moments in NBA History. I'm Carmelo Anthony, and this is... Bill, what are you doing?
I'm reading this comic book. I had no idea you were a superhero.
Come on, Bill. That's what Read to Achieve. The NBA is trying to get more kids to read.
And that's a great idea.
Yeah, for kids to read. Why are you reading it?
I'm hoping to discover that I turn out to be the villain.
Let's get back to the countdown.
Spike 52 Greatest Moments in NBA History is at number 3. That's where you'll find the 1970 New York Knicks.
There is an odd-sounding word. It is Gestalt. It means a whole greater than the sum of its parts and applies, for example, to psychological phenomena in groups and to the New York Knickerbockers.
The 69-70 Knicks played a classic example of team basketball.
There was a thrill watching that team just because they passed so well. And sometimes the ball would kick around the perimeter, and the crowd would get louder and louder as each pass happened. And when the ball suddenly went through, there was just an explosion in the Garden.
The key to the team was Willis Reed, captain of the New York ship.
He was the captain. In quotations, Willis was the captain. He was the guy who kept us together. Without him, I didn't think we could win at all.
In Game 5 of the series, Reed was seriously injured.
Top of the key to Reed. He's triple team, falls down. We got a whistle on the play, and Willis is hurt.
Reed missed Game 6, and the Lakers won it going away 135-113. When the teams returned to New York for the finale, the Knicks desperately needed their leader.
Coming back to New York, 7th game, will Willis play? That's the question. Will Willis play?
How can they possibly win? They're not going to win. They're playing against West. They're playing against Chamberlain, a highly motivated Lakers team. The Knicks come out to warm up. There's no Willis Reed. He's not there. And all of a sudden, a roar ensues.
Here comes Willis, and the crowd is going wild.
And you look over at the entrance to where the players come out, and there's Willis lumbering out on the floor, uniform on, appearing that he's going to play. And I got to tell you, that was unbelievable. That was unbelievable because of the incredible... I get chills actually thinking about it right now, a few years later.
Down court to Frazier. Left side of the lane. Outside Reed. Jumps from 20. Yes!
Willis made the first 2 shots, and that was it.
Barnett to Reed on the forecourt. Right side from 20. Jumps. Yes! Willis has hit on his first 2.
At that point, the whole team had been lifted several levels of belief in themselves.
Reed didn't score another basket all night. His heroic arrival and beginning had inspired the crowd and his teammates. Walt Frazier, who scored 36 points and dished out 19 assists, later said, "Willis provided the inspiration and I provided the devastation." The Knicks, who in 1946 won the first game in league history, finally won their first championship.
And truly, again, our congratulations. You've offered, I think, the best that the human spirit can offer.
We're now at number 2 in our countdown, and we are going back to Boston Garden. The defending champion Boston Celtics were up against the ropes late in Game 5 of the 1987 Eastern Conference Finals.
So many of our guys were injured. I had a broken foot. Kevin McHale had a broken foot. Robert Parrish had a very bad ankle. Larry playing with an extremely sore back and an elbow that just wouldn't work anymore. But Larry Bird was the single greatest player that I ever played with. And what I learned from Larry was that you never stop, and the game is never really over.
The Pistons were nursing a 1-point lead, but Boston had the ball in the hands of its most reliable scorer, Larry Bird.
On the left it goes to Bird. Bird guarded by Mahorn. Drives around him. Goes on in. And the ball gets knocked out of bounds by Ayton. They call it the other way.
When the referee signaled Pistons ball, all seemed lost. With 3 seconds left, all Isaiah Thomas had to do was get the ball inbounds for the Pistons to run out the clock.
Please, somebody come up with, this ball.
And now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in. Right up, 1 second left. What a play by Bird. Bird stole the inbounding pass. Laid it up to DJ. DJ laid it up and in. And Boston has a 1-point lead with 1 second left. Oh my, this place is going crazy.
The play was amazing on 3 levels. First came the steal. Then Bird had to stay in bounds along the baseline. Finally, the pass to a streaking Dennis Johnson, who sliced between Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars for the winning basket.
They forgot about Larry Bird, that's all.
Boston won the game 108-107 and went on to the finals, where they lost to the Lakers in 6 games. Spike 52 will return with the greatest moment in NBA history.
Stockton inside of Carmelo. They double him. Jordan knocks it away from him. Jordan's got it. The Bulls can win it right here.
Continues on Spike TV. The NBA Finals begin June 6th.
Well, now, we've reached the greatest moment.
But before we get there, let's take a look back at some of the plays we...
Ellis buries the ball.
He fires the 3.
Oh, God! Ori for the win. Yes!
Five, 4, 3, 2. Isaiah Thomas is hurt down on the court underneath the basket.
Bird steals it and gets it to Johnson. Paxson ball for the win. There's Paxson for 3. Paxson. Yeah!
Yeah! George Mikan winning the battle for the rebound.
Stark to the Malone. He scores.
Shot in the air. It's good.
Havlicek steals it over the stand goal.
The greatest moment in the history of the NBA came in Game 6 of the 1998 Finals. Chicago came in looking to win its 6th championship in 8 years. Standing in their way was Karl Malone and the Utah Jazz.
Karl squares away. Fake right to left to the base, go to the hoop, lay it up and in with a left hand. Karl Malone.
After the season, the keys to their championship runs, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Coach Phil Jackson were all leaving the Windy City. Win or lose, this series would mark the end of their dynasty.
Malone knocked away, picked back up by Stockton. Michael a steal. MJ runs it by Russell. Michael to the top of the key, whip to Pippen. He goes up, dunks the great pass from MJ. 12 unanswered by Chicago.
When the Jazz won Game 5, they stole the home court advantage back from Chicago. Once in Utah, they were looking to send the series to 7 games.
Here at the Delta Center, welcome to Game 6. The Chicago Bulls show up having lost the home court advantage in the finals, but the Bulls are a confident team. They have never lost a Game 6 in their finals history.
Up top to Carmelo, fake right, try to go left, cannot. Goes back right side, strong move. Deep in lane, put it up, good! Caught it, he's fouled. The ball there, delivery.
Strong Karl Malone. Karl Malone carrying the load once again for the Utah Jazz.
The combination of Malone and point guard John Stockton put the Jazz up by 3 with just a minute to play.
And 12 seconds. Malone picks it up. Cross-court pass. Stockton with a 3 on the way. Good! John Stockton with a cold-blooded 3. And Utah takes the lead.
Next unfolded Michael Jordan's final minute of play as a member of the Chicago Bulls.
Out front to the man, Michael Jordan. Jordan up top, fake left, go right. He's there, lay it up, score it easily. Wow. Stockton inside of Carmelo, they double him. Jordan knocks it away from him. Jordan's got it. The Bulls can win it right here. The Bulls can win it. Unbelievable.
There was no play for Phil Jackson to draw up. Everyone on the Jazz, everyone in the Delta Center, everyone watching at home knew exactly where the ball was going. And no one could do anything to stop it.
The Bulls lead 87-86 with 5 2/10 left. And now they're one stop away. Oh my goodness.
Russell comes into Stockton. Stockton 4 seconds. Stockton at 3 up out front. Rimming. No. Ball tipped away. Chicago is world champions once more. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship in the last 8 years.
Michael Jordan led the Bulls to victories in 25 of the last 26 playoff series in which he played, including 6 championships. Michael accumulated an unbelievable array of accolades. 5 regular season MVP awards, 6 finals MVP awards, 14 All-Star appearances. He revolutionized how the sport was played and how athletes were marketed. But beyond commerce and competition, he was quite simply a work of art, a wonder to behold, and we are all the better for it.
Michael against Russell, 12 seconds, 11, 10, Jordan a drive, hangs, fires, scores! He scores!
Mello, this is what it's all about. The Larry O'Brien Trophy. Winning this is what drove Kareem, Michael, Magic, Larry, Russell, Wilt, Oscar, Jerry, Akeem, all the greats.
How many times did you win it?
Mello, sadly, only twice. Once with Portland in 1977 and once with Boston in 1986. And I'm sure that one day, Mello, you'll win it too. Just like I'm sure that if we do another one of these shows in a couple of years, some of your plays will be on the list as well.
Well, it's been fun working with you and looking at all these plays from the BC era.
BC?
Yeah, BC, before Carmelo.
Okay. Thanks, everybody, for being part of Spike 52, the greatest moments in NBA history. Now, how does it go?
Peace out.
Yeah, peace out. I like that.